Squats are considered one of the most essential exercises in strength training and strengthen the front of the thigh, the back of the thigh, the glutes, and also the core muscles. Many people hesitate to do this exercise. The risk of injuries is also essential to consider when doing squats. The load on your spine exposes the lower back to injuries, so you must take time to practice good technique before loading up. Okay, let's start by looking at what characterizes good technique in the squat exercise. Start off with placing the barbell in a solid rack at chest height. Get under the bar and place the barbell below the cervical vertebrae that sticks out notably from the others. This vertebrae is called cervical 7 or C7. Press your shoulders well back and let the bar rest on the upper part of your shoulder muscles. Lift the bar off and take 2 steps back in a controlled manner. We recommend standing at shoulder width distance. The toes can point slightly outwards, but be careful not to overdo the angle of the legs. You're now ready to start the actual movement of the squat. Okay, start by bending the knee and the hip joints until the thighs are parallel to the floor and press the bar back to the starting position. These 2 phases are called eccentric and concentric phase, and it's actually referring to the ways the muscles are contracting. We'll now go through the 6-step checklist, so pay attention. Okay, point number 1, pointed knees. Many tend to push their knees forward and stand with almost a vertical back in a deep position. The consequence is that the person is standing on the toes unbalanced, which can be due to reduced mobility in the ankle joint, or the coordination between the knee and the hip joints is not ingrained. In other words, poor technique. You can fix this by visualizing how you'd sit down on a low bench. You can move your seat back while your upper body bends forward. Okay, point number 2, horizontal back. You may have heard that you should stand with your whole foot in contact with the ground throughout the lift. Some end up with almost a horizontal back. This can be due to reduced mobility in the ankle joint, or that the upper body is short in relation to the leg length. Try placing 2 to 3 centimeter high block underneath the heels to correct this. This adjustment causes the leg to be angled forward and the back to be bent vertically. But in the long term, you should prioritize working on mobility rather than building up the heel area. If you find this video helpful, we'd really appreciate if you could give us a thumbs up and let us know in the comments below. Thanks a lot. All right, let's dive into number 3. Train with a natural straight back to reduce the risk of injury. Nevertheless, many lift with a rounded back. Now, the reason why some train squats with a rounded back can be multiple. Let's now look at some measures that can help improve this. Keep the elbows high in front of your body when training front squats, while the back extensions are forced to straighten the spine when you press your arms up. As an alternative, you can also train squats with the bar overhead, but I'd recommend maybe this is reserved for the advanced. All right, number 4, knees over toes. The knee should always point in the same direction as the toes to distribute the force over the largest possible area in the knee joint. Often we see that the knees being pressed against each other. Okay, number 5, hyperextension. With hyperextension, we mean that the back is not held naturally straight. The easiest way to correct this is to actively work on the technique and also to perform the eccentric phase calmly and controlled. Number 6, different force on both legs. People who have had an injury, for example, in one leg, may unconsciously unload the injured leg during the recovery period. This habit can be carried forward even when the injury is healed. To avoid this, you can focus on keeping the pelvis horizontal and that the force should be evenly distributed between both legs. It's also wise to prioritize single leg exercises, supplement other exercises to ensure optimal training on both legs. You can start training with increasingly heavier resistance when you know that you've mastered all the elements that characterize good technique. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe and also ping that notification bell so that you don't miss any of our other videos coming up. Also, if you want to dive deeper into a wonderful squat, check this video right here to learn more about how to get the most out of your squat training.